Little public service announcement for everybody out there before we get into the Britney Spears stuff. I had to reopen my Twitter account. Now, why did I have to do that? Well, if you're watching this, you probably know why. I'm over here on Rumble, as per usual, as per always, and eventually, at one point in time, if they get back to me or not, I'll be back on YouTube. Now, what do I mean by being back on YouTube? Oh, right now I've been struck, okay? And what video is that? You won't notice it recently. It's an old video from 3 months ago. 3 months ago when we were going through a bunch of hilarious campaign ads of some really interesting people that were out there. What was that? A state senator? I think she was from New Hampshire or something like that. She was twerking on the beach. And then there was another congressional candidate. I think he was from Atlanta, but he's running in Georgia. Either the state house or maybe federally. Not entirely sure. It was a long time ago. But he was the one who was standing on his porch while a bunch of Democrats dressed in, the old Klan hoods and stuff like that. They were rushing towards the house, and he was just standing there looking like Malcolm X. It was a fun time, and it was hilarious to see all the spurgouts that were out there. I thought nothing of it, and nobody really paid attention to it. It was one of the lower performing videos that were on here. Not entirely sure how it performed on Rumble. Rumble's an entirely different beast, and that's totally fine, okay? So it was kind of an inoffensive video. I didn't think anything of it until this morning when I came back from my exercise routine this morning. I seen that it got struck. It's like, why exactly did that one get struck out of anything? Well, I got a couple of theories behind it, and I can elaborate it out here to begin with, but I've contacted Team YouTube. They're taking a look at it at the time of recording, and that's the second strike on the channel, so it's I don't know, man. That's a little tough right now because, again, I think this is like the dozenth strike that I've run through on my channel, so it's not something that I'm not used to, but this is the first time that there's ever been 2 concurrent strikes on the channel, and then when you get a third, it's dunzo. And realistically, like, I love Rumble. I do love Rumble for the amount of things that you can get away with, everything that you can say, but this is also kind of like my livelihood. The fact that I just recently, within the past 6 months or so like that, finally got monetized. I'm going to be able to finally cash out on my thousands of hours that I put into my YouTube account. If there's some avarice people that are in there flagging, because that's kind of what it looks like. I've taken a look at the analytics of the video that ended up ultimately getting struck, and then also taking a look of 2 very popular, at least for my channel, right? They've got a couple of hundred views on each of them. I've kind of pissed off some simps from a couple of people that are out there, okay? The Sydney Watson video is going ham right now, okay? There's something like, I think the ratio is something horrific. If you guys can see it, right? Like, you don't really need to see any of that stuff. Well, first of all, like the Amaranth one, that one was going around, and I was totally anticipating getting that one all fucking ratioed to hell. So it's got 4 likes and 28 dislikes. I'm totally fine with that. That's just my opinion of that situation. And then you got the Sydney Watson one, right? 480 views that are out there, 3 likes, 44 downvotes. I don't even know what the comments are on that one. I don't regulate the comments. That's up for you guys. You guys want to discuss things in the comment section, totally fine with all that stuff. I don't really care, okay? It's kind of like for the Twitter account. I had it when I first opened up the channel, okay? I just used it as a little bit of a publicity vehicle. It wasn't really gaining any traction for me. It was more of a hindrance than anything. So I don't really know ultimately what I'm going to do with this other than to just post, hey, I've been kicked off YouTube for right now. Come on over to Rumble. Might make a couple of tertiary announcements, and then ultimately probably just end up using it as a shit post vehicle, okay? Outside of that, you can follow me if you want. I got 1 follower here right now. I don't know why or anything like that. I've only just been going back and forth with Team YouTube. They're taking a look at the video right now. Hopefully they, take a look at the video. It's 27 minutes long. It's fully monetized over on Rumble, so I don't really know, man. It's a little disheartening, but it also just goes to show you that it's time to update some stuff. You'll notice that if you take a look at the background of the video right here, there's going to be a new banner at the end. And then, I guess, going back on Twitter in some form or fashion, mostly for just research. And if you want to interact with me, hey man, you just go for it. It'll be probably the best place to get a hold of me at. if you're so inclined to. Otherwise, hey man, not much is going to change for right now, okay? I'm still going to be the same dude talking about the same stuff, okay? News, politics, pop culture, dating, sports, anything I want to talk about, anything that I think you guys might be interested in. And something that I really wish I would have hopped on earlier was this Britney Spears thing. Like I said before, when everything was initially kicking off, especially with her conservatorship lawsuit, I was not all that enthusiastic about covering it. Okay, it was a subject that I didn't really know that much about. I had my opinions on it, and I was like, well, you know, she's kind of doing some goofy things behind the scenes, and you know what? Hey, maybe a little bit of structure is what she needs. And then she started to just go completely buck wild on all of her social media posts and all of her social media outlets that were out there, posing nude every other day. And now it just seems like every day, twice a day, 3 times a day, if you're lucky, I suppose, if you want to see a 40-something-year-old who's not quite getting the attention that she used to, and then still just trying to drag out this whole thing. Yay, just definitely making sure that a lot of the people that were out there, hashtag Free Britney, are really regretting their initial position, especially when it's putting her kids in a precarious position. Because you take a look, Britney Spears posts a nude selfie in a bed after her son's plea for her to stop. Yeah, man, this is where it starts to get, like, super sad. Like, we talked about this before, right? Like, she's really... she's putting her kids down bad, and that's not appropriate, okay? Like, if she wanted to post the pictures that you see right there, I just kind of, you know, want to keep this above ground. Obviously, this is on Instagram. No, it was deleted off of Instagram, so I don't even know if it's going to be up there. Maybe she deleted it, or Instagram got rid of it, because they got a pretty stringent nudity policy when it's up there, and yeah, she's just kind of there in the buff, but she's always doing that kind of shit. And it's like, okay, you just got married, okay? You just got your quote-unquote freedom. You can now take your career back into your own hands. And what are you deciding to do with it? Post a bunch of selfies like you're trying to get flued out to Dubai like every other Instagram thought that's out there. What are you doing? You're a mother, for God's sakes, okay? And it's not like your kids are just, you know, making, you know, spurious claims out there. They're trying to look out what's best for you, because you forgot about them a long time ago. And that's also what's sad about this. Like, anyways, Britney Spears doesn't need Instagram to share her nudes. She still has another social media at her disposal. Nearly a week after she deleted her account, the toxic singer turned to Twitter to share yet another nude selfie, this time taken in bed. Oh, was that on Twitter? Oh, okay. Well, I guess we could have looked that up, and I guess it was kind of a different segue I could have made for my Twitter account, but whatever. Posting yet another nude selfie. I have a premiere for my movie this week, The Legislative Act of My Pussy. Yeah, I seen that, and everybody and their mother is taking a look at that, okay? Like, Rollo Tomasi is one of the first people that I seen, because I think he replied to it, or he quote retweeted it. We could take a look for it, but regardless, I remember when he was saying, he's like, Britney, honey, just open up an OnlyFans account. He's like, yeah, no, this is ultimately where it's going to end up at the end of the day, and yeah, always, and then probably his quote retweet when it came to that, and then also pimping his book underneath of it. I like Rollo a lot, but he's got a pretty standard responds to all this stuff. And the hashtag they always get naked. And yeah, well, again, it's not discrediting his take on this stuff. It's pretty obvious what she's doing out here. Spears' latest photo comes 2 months after her and ex Kevin Federline said their sons, Jaden and Preston, chose not to see her because of her penchant for nudes. Yeah, that's not exactly an unreasonable stance to take, okay, because everybody thinks, right? Whenever you talk about OnlyFans girls, okay, you think about, okay, what are your kids going to think about this type of stuff, okay? If one point in time, the kids are accosted by a couple of bullies that are out there, it's like, ha ha ha, I got a picture of your mom's asshole right here. The internet doesn't forget. And these kids are what? Yeah, married Spears from 2004 to 2006. So those kids at best are 18 and at worst are 16. And yeah, if you don't think that kids are taking advantage of this situation, hey, have you seen what your mom posts on social media lately? It's like, yeah, no, but at least she's rich, right? It's like, it's really, come on, man. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, added that he can't imagine. Oh, okay, this is Federline talking. How it feels to be a teenager having to go to high school. Oh, shit. Okay, yeah, so he's bringing up the very obvious things, and that was his ex-wife, but at least he knew that deuces, it's time to get the fuck out of this situation, because this bitch is wild. With their mother posting nude selfies. After the revelation made publicly by Federline, of course, the Crossroads star. Wasn't that their movie from way back in the cut? Holy. Star's current husband, Sam Ashragi, defended his wife and her racy photos. Yeah, this dude is a turbo fucking blue-pilled when it comes to this stuff. Like, this guy is, like, he looks like a total Chad. His looks, right? Because he's got that square jawline. He's a big, tall, strong dude. But at the same time, you're wifing up a dude who's fucking too busy posting nude selfies to do anything constructive in the marriage. And again, putting on that, like, the only time you see eyeshadow that looks like that, it's normally accompanied by a copious amount of drool, a $500 payout, and then a teary-eyed phone call to a mother saying, I didn't quite get that audition that I was looking for when I moved out to Los Angeles. Just saying. But yeah, that's what she does. All the goddamn time. She's just holding her titties, which are fine for a 40-year-old, but what are you hoping to accomplish with that, other than to just make people go, she was released from her conservatorship, not put into one? Was that what the lawsuit was about? Is that how far we've got this year so far? Oh, okay, cool. Even if there was truth to her kids being ashamed of their mother's choices and positive body image, they wouldn't be the first teenagers embarrassed of their parents. Holy, said stepdad number 4? Number 4, okay? Like, it's bad enough if you're gonna wife up a former hoe, okay? And even still, a current hoe, okay? But if you're like the third, or, like, I'm pretty sure, like, she had that one annulment that was there for a hot second. Okay, back when it was a baby hit me one more time, that was the baddest bitch on the block, okay? So I kind of remember a couple of these things, right? And then she was married, was that before or after Federline? And then I think she was married to another guy during that same time. Regardless, this simp is 3rd or 4th in fucking line, and he's there saying, there's nothing wrong with one of the most famous women on earth posting Instagram nudes, selfies, whatever the hell you want to call it, okay? Mums are going to be mums and kids are going to be kids, right? Okay, fine. The mere presence of a parent can humiliate a teenager. That's not exactly the same, okay? She's posting nudes on the reg. And that's accustomed to having a kid say, hey, can you drop me off around the corner so they don't see that my mom is dropping me off here? It's a little different. You're comparing apples to eggplants here. Because, yeah, there he is. And we've broken down, we've drawn the proverbial lines here. This guy's leaning in way too much, not being looked at by his current wife, which this relationship's only going to last for a little while. Let's fucking stop the cap. Because whenever something like this happens, you get this fucking total simp right here. Eventually, he's going to wake up, or she's just going to bigger, better deal him. What's that, BBD? No. She's just going to bigger, better circumstance him. I'll let you figure out. Acronym. I couldn't remember the word acronym. I was thinking anagram for some reason. It's like if you mix up everything that spells out Britney Spears, you probably get, solipsistic head case in there in some form or fashion. Anyways, the actor went on to discuss the all too common idea of parents embarrassing their children, noting that even been used as a storyline in Hollywood projects, none of which you've been attached to. Okay. Eventually, if not already, they will realize their mother's choices are harmless. Bruh, she is making a total embarrassment of herself. She is making herself, like, as of right now, everybody's like, yeah, okay, cool, get it out of your system. But when you eventually grow up, now would be a good time. Okay, then we can start putting you into projects. Okay, like, you're super talented and all that stuff. Like, yeah, okay, like, I don't like her music anymore. I did grow up in one point in time. Okay, like, the whole pop scene isn't really for me, but I can't dispute the amount of talent that she has. Okay, and the ability for her to get up on stage and command an audience is second to none. Okay, in a world where now we're just kind of devoid of legit superstars out there, if she could clean her fucking act up instead of just hand waving her way or bad decisions, it's kind of like when somebody's a drug addict or a drunk. Okay, like, everybody's like, oh yeah, he's really talented, it's just sure is a shame that he can't stay awake long enough. Just keeps nodding off with a needle in his arm. But yeah, okay, her choices are harmless and an expression of her newly found freedom. Interesting. So would he also apply that same logic to himself in his current situation? Because yeah. She's been kept under the thumb of somebody else, but then she decided to get married to somebody else. So does she not see you as an authority figure in her life? Does she not see you as the husband in this relationship? Are you just kind of a vehicle for some free young dick? I'm just wondering here, if we're just going to go ahead and workshop these ideas, we might as well just realpolitik all this motherfucking stuff. There is nothing to be embarrassed about. It's just lots of things to be proud of. Spears, 40. Also reminded her fans and followers that she's still coming to terms with the end of her conservatorship while trying to navigate her freedom and motherhood. Well, she's definitely trying to navigate the end of her conservatorship, and even though that happened, I think at the end of last year, and if not the early part of this year, and navigate her freedom by posting nudes on the internet at 40 years old. Okay, and then motherhood. Oh, she's already figured out how to do that. She's just not going to pay attention to what her kids want and desire. Yeah, no, that's fine. It's amazing. It is legitimately amazing, because if a father in this type of situation, if he just decided, yeah, fuck it, because I don't know how old this dude is. I'd imagine he looks at least a couple years younger than Britney Spears, okay? Like, I could check that stuff, but we could just go ahead and imagine, like, he's probably no more than mid-30s. Fuck, my guy is 28 years old. He's born in 94, a couple days before my 4th birthday. I think I've seen March 3rd or something like that. March 3rd, 94. First of all, why are you getting married in today's day and age? I can understand if you have an in on this one and she is just about a billionaire at this point in time. Like, if you can come in there and get some fucking free money. But it's funny. It's funny. I would guarantee that there's probably a prenup here in some form or fashion, because we also seen that with Mackenzie Bezos after she decided to kick the teacher to the curb, which who could have possibly seen that happen? Just like I'm calling the fact that this relationship will be over this time next year. Oh yeah, a woman's definitely going to be taking care of her funds and any relationship that she enters into. But if it's the other way around, oh no, you don't love me if you want a prenup, and I thought we're supposed to be building together. I thought we were a partnership. Funny how those arguments go. Because again, this guy just cashed in for fucking everything. Because if we take a look at everything up here at the top, okay, what does a man bring to a relationship? Provisioning, security, stability, all of that stuff. Is he providing that for this relationship? Well, you can kind of see by your actions there, okay? And then what is a woman supposed to bring to the relationship? Okay, fertility, youth, children. Are you going to be getting that from a 40-year-old? 40-year-old who has been used and abused and willingly putting all of her sexuality on the internet for the world to see? Hey man, if you're 28 years old and if you think that you can snake a couple of $1 million out of there and a couple of good stories, God willing to you, God fucking bless, do whatever you want to do out there. But the lack of accountability for women, something that I've seen firsthand here very recently, is astounding. People will excuse this bad behavior from every corner of the world. She's just doing what she wants to do. She's a mother after all. She has responsibilities that supersede that of wanting to show off for the internet. Otherwise, hey man, Paulina Porzakova, Giselle Bundchen, Larsa Pippen, all of those old broads who just decided that, yeah, they're going to go and be fun and flirty and thriving all the way until their 50s. Yeah. Now how are they spending the rest of their days? Fighting internet trolls. Good for them. Good life choices. You can correct all of this stuff in an instant, okay? You can just go ahead and do a quick reversal on that, but chances are, yeah, shit like that ain't gonna happen. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.